Is there intro music?
Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
I can probably figure it out. I'll try.
Don't look at me.
I'll try to
It's
figure it
weird because if you look at me, like we're looking at each other.
Okay, we're live.
Um,
It's recording. Hello.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Yes, it's been a while. We are
2 years to be exact.
back with the Ice Warrior podcast. It's been like 2 years, but I know it's a weird time to be starting it. Usually, maybe like we started at the beginning of the season, but we were just super busy with everything going on in our life.
Adopting dogs,
Yes.
building garages.
Building a family with more dogs, and we built a new race shop / garage onto our house here. Right now, we're up in the mezzanine part, which I've kind of dubbed the hangout spot, but like also an area to do these podcasts. So this is the first podcast back at the new area, kind of getting back into like figuring out how to do all this. So the first one, hang with us. It might not be perfect, but we'll get a hang of it once we get a couple more of these in. Hopefully we'll do these more frequently. I was thinking like maybe not every week, but maybe like maybe every other week if we can. We'll see.
We'll see how bored we get in Canada.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we can try one there remotely. We'll see how it goes. But now that we have it all set up, we have like a spot to do it. We can just like come up here and record it. And we're going to try doing these like with the video, like we are doing here. So you'll see our faces. You'll get to.
It's a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah, you'll get to see us. Macy's kind of frozen a little bit. Maybe we'll get now our Wi-Fi is not working also. So
yeah, like today. Okay, so today I was trying to work remotely, and I was like, "What the heck is going on?" So I was hotspotting the entire day, and then I called them, and they're like, "Oh, your box is junk." I'm like, "Cool, great, awesome timing," but it's okay. It's all good. So jumping into preseason recap, or I guess preseason recap, we can talk a little bit about that. The new race shop. So we tore down the garage that was at the house that we bought a couple years ago, and completely renovated the entranceway and connected it to a new race shop that we built. I shouldn't say we because I didn't do very much. I did do some things, but Gunnar and Sean did a lot of work on it. It's pretty awesome. So it's nice that we can fit the whole race trailer in here and work on sleds and also fit everything else that we have that needs to be inside. So
yeah, it's definitely, like you said, it's just nicer just having everything inside where it's warm, especially like last week when it was, bitter cold everywhere. Everything was in here. Trailer was in here. We don't have to run out and do a billion trips out to the trailer like we were doing before, grabbing tools, like those special tools that you need that, you bring with, but you only have one setup. But so now everything is right here. The whole, all the sleds are lined up right next to the trailer. We kind of work on them underneath. We have a hoist in here now too. We can pick up the backs, pick them up, put them on the tables that move around, and we can load them in the trailer. So yeah, this is nice. This is like, any racer will tell you like 90% of racing is just working on stuff either in your trailer or at the garage. So it was finally nice to have like a little bit of a nicer setup. That's since we're just spending so much time working on stuff. My dad was saying, or he said a couple times, we should have done this years ago. So I know he's really enjoying it. Timmy's been over quite a bit working, so it's nice having that and having the TV to just kind of play in the background. So yeah, that was
Gunner's catching up on all his movies that he missed.
I do just put on a movie that I just let it play in the background, and then sometimes I'll get caught up in the movie and we'll stop working. But yeah, it's been nice. It's been finally just starting to get like into like the a little bit more of the wrapping up stages of the garage. It's not done by any means, but we're kind of doing like the trim, and we finished painting a little bit and getting like more into decorations and stuff. So making it look cool. So yeah, that was what we've been doing all summer. And obviously before Beauchageur, we had preseason stuff, getting sleds ready. We, Champ sled and the F3. So that's a big task in itself every week getting those ready. But going into Beaujeu, we should probably recap that just because we haven't talked about it yet, like in this setting, and because it was such an awesome weekend for us.
Yeah, for sure. Beaujeu, as always, they put on a fantastic event. If you haven't been there, for sure would recommend to anyone. A lot of people say that there's certain races on their bucket list. Well, they should definitely add Beaujeu or put it towards the top of the list for sure. The people at the facility are just outstanding. They know how to make a track. It's definitely a science. They know how to make a track. They get the support of the community. They get everyone involved. They have so many amazing volunteers that are just awesome and so grateful that you're there. It's always nice to go to tracks like that. And then they also had their light project. So I think they spent over 600.
It was over.
I don't even know.
It was over,
but it was a lot of money, a lot of money, right? So whether it be Canadian or US dollar, who knows? But it's unbelievable. Looking at some of the tracks that we are racing this season now, looking at what they have for lights and then comparing that to Beaujeu, it's very, very interesting to see how dark some of these racetracks are that are, racing under the lights compared to Beaujeu now. And there's no dark spots. It's pretty lit up like a football stadium. So that's always awesome to see a community putting so much effort into their local racetrack and the local venue.
Yeah. Like you said, they're putting a lot of effort into their track. They're making it better. Reed, when I was talking to him there, the whole point of the lights project was to make Beaujeu, a destination for ice oval racing, almost like the, Indy 500, a Daytona 500, the pinnacle event for ice oval racing. And the lights have only made it better. Just, the track itself is already a great track with, just the community that it's in and the safety standards that are with the track and, the ice conditions that are always great there. It's everything really it hits the nail on the head on a lot of aspects that go into putting on a good event for ice oval. They do a great job with everything. And then, just now having the ability to race at night is awesome. And like you said, the lights are definitely the best lights I've raced under for sure. We did race there once before under the lights, and they had a little bit less lighting, and I think they took that and added some more lighting into their budget to make sure that the track was definitely adequate for lighting. Especially in today, these days, lighting is like good lighting is really what good lighting is and what bad lighting is, and good lighting is just always more welcomed for sure. You can't have too many lights, in my opinion. So, going to some other tracks with outdoor lighting, it's gonna be different. It's gonna seem so much more darker.
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, at Eagle River, it already seemed so much darker to me personally.
And especially with like the snow dust that comes into play at night races, like that's when you really need the good lighting, because that can really like put a even darker shade around the track. It's I think just in the safety point of it, it's gonna be a huge difference. And we don't have to rush through the day anymore. Going, like on Saturday and Sunday, we ended up racing the last race under the lights. I think on Sunday that wasn't intended, but I think the racing just took a little bit longer, and we did end up racing a little bit later during Sunday, which is fine, instead of having to like cut classes to get the final race in before it gets dark. I think they won't have as much of an issue in March because it is a little bit brighter out. But I think they really go above and beyond for everyone, for their fans, for their racers. I can't really say too much for Beaujeu and everyone there. So kudos to them. I think they're doing a great job up there. And talking about us,
as far as results,
we did really great, especially on the champ. We only lost one heat race throughout the whole weekend. We had two great finals on Saturday. We got first for Pro Star Cup points, so that was good. I think we led every lap there, and then on Sunday we had another good day. I think we also led every lap in that final too. And sled was just really fast. It was a little bit of unknown to see. I think we always do good there, but I think
we've had Decembers where we're like way far off, right?
Yeah.
Like this is a good track for Gunnar. It suits his driving ability. It suits the sled well. It suits everyone well, right? It suits Mike well. It suits the team well. It's just such a good track for us in general. And obviously winning 5 or 6 of the March CPTC championships proves that. However, going into a season without having any ice time, most of the time it's still like 55 degrees back in Illinois when we're up there, which is kind of crazy to think about. So there's no ice time, no testing time, none of that. It's just straight up like, hopefully the practice day on Friday is good to us, and it was this year. So we were in the ballpark right away, and I think that helped a lot this year. But
yeah, I think just like you said, that track suits us well and suits my driving style pretty well. I think it's I enjoy going there. I don't think I do think that we could probably learn from stuff from that track and put it towards other tracks. But every track is always different. So I'm excited to go back there. I do enjoy going there twice just because it does suit our driving, or at least my driving style well, and it suits the team well and our equipment pretty well. So that's good for our team that we get to go there twice and get twice the amount of results than usually going to other tracks. So we'll be back there in March. But I think other than that, I think coming from that weekend with first place in points is it's hopefully going to help us down the road here. I know this past weekend in Eagle River, we didn't have any Pro Star Cup points from Eagle River. Usually we do. So we're still in first place for points for Pro Star Cup heading into this next weekend in Wausau. So it's another track that we usually do well at. Yeah. So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully we have better luck this year with this next couple strings of tracks than we did last year. I think, last year, this middle section of the schedule, we really didn't do well at all. So this will be a good test to see how well we do this year. I mean, we have to do better at Eganville, have to do better at Valcourt than we did last year for sure. I mean, those two tracks will probably make or break our season there. So a lot is riding on the next couple weekends, but I think just looking forward to this next weekend for at least for the points part of it on Saturday, it's important to at least do well. I mean, I'm not gonna say we have to win, but I would like to win. I think we definitely have the ability to for sure win. The goal. Yeah, that's always the goal, obviously. But I just don't want to put us in a position where we are like have a really bad race on Saturday too. So I think consistency is going to be key this year for sure. But I think we're gonna have to squeeze out some wins here for sure. It's gonna have to be a win here or a win in Valcourt or a win. Definitely a win at the end of this year would be great.
And the heat racing too is heats now are worth 10 points. So each heat is worth 10 points. So if you don't do well in 2 of your heats, or like you blow up, or God forbid fall off the sled, or whatever it may be, you just don't finish, you have a DNF, you're already 20 points at least behind everyone else. So like that's significant, whereas in years past you only got awarded, was it like
you got awarded like 10 for first place qualifying,
second place got 9, so on and so forth. And then like the finals are still 190, 80. So even one position is 10 points.
Yeah. I mean, the points mean more every heat race for sure. So consistency, like I said, is going to be, I mean, it's the same as last year, the same point structure as last year, but I think people lose sight of how important maybe the heat races are if you are trying to win a points championship. So
yeah, and this year it's a very, very competitive field this year. I would say I am actually astonished by how many of the people in the top 10 have never even been in the top 10 before, or have, even the top 5. There's multiple people that have literally placed in the top 5, and I've never even heard of them. So
yeah, there's a lot of new
people, and then there's a lot of competition that you have Gady, you have Peterson, you have Olson, you have Stevenson, you have there's just a bunch of different other people that that are always competitive, and going to these tracks, that they're always going to bring their A game as well. So there's tons of competition. It's just not flip a coin who's going to win it this year. It's a dice, right?
Yeah, it is very competitive. I think last year was starting to see that, especially up front. I think there's probably a couple more people that could end up winning a champ final. I don't think anyone could win a champ final, but I mean, crazier things could have happened for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, anybody can, but I think realistically, I think there's probably like maybe 6 to 7 people, depending on who shows up at each track, that could win going into the weekend. But I mean, that's why you race the races, right? So, so let's maybe move on to, what do we have here?
Eagle River.
Yeah, let's kind of like quickly go through Eagle River, just because it was, not because it was a horrible weekend for us, but I don't want to spend too much time on Eagle River talking about that. But we did. So let's see. Friday Night Thunder, we ended up 7th.
Well, let's start from let's wind back, right? So originally we weren't going to race champ at Eagle River, because in years past we've wrecked a lot of crap at Eagle River, just with the dirt, the sand, all of that stuff, right? So if it's not the premier class at Eagle River, why even bring it out if it's not for points, that sort of thing. Gunnar kind of was like, oh, well, we could maybe just race it Friday for the Friday night show.
Yeah.
And then it was like they weren't offering it at first. I don't know. It was something weird like that.
They didn't offer. No, there was a pro light class on Friday,
but there was no champ.
There was not a pro champ class offered for Friday Night Thunder.
So a lot of drivers were like, okay, well, what's the point?
I don't know.
Then,
I don't know
right?
what other. I'm not talking about other. What I don't know.
I know.
I don't know who signed up, who didn't.
Yeah, I know.
but
I just
I know
know they
for
were
myself.
asking people like, hey.
For myself, we didn't sign up because it was not offered. If it was offered on Friday, I probably would have signed up, and that was before the announcement of, the more money the purse that was putting into, and then the announcement that there was more money put into the purse. That was offered along with the class. The class was then offered with more money. It wasn't that the class was already offered on Friday. It was that there was no pro champ class, and then there was a pro champ class with the money. So we ended up we did race champ on Friday Night Thunder.
Yep.
And I think we ended up like 5th, I think.
Yeah. So not a very good.
No, we had a decent start, and the sled was just pushing the whole race. I think that was pretty typical with both of our sleds, was just pushing because couldn't get them to turn for reasons, maybe some reasons unknown, but I think maybe something I had a little bit of an idea what was going on. I mean, the ice conditions definitely didn't help us. I mean, a couple of times we had some chunks missing out of our carbides, which was from dirt or from who knows. I mean, it was. I mean, that's not very typical, and coming off of for a heat race or from a 7-lap heat
on a Friday.
Yeah, I mean, just
in general.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty. Come to. You have to expect that from there. I think everyone expects it now. I think that's just what's expected for that track, and which is the way it is. So I think going forward, you have to keep that in mind for sure if you want to do well there. But yeah, I think we need work on I guess our ability for our sled to handle on that type of a condition of a track. So. Looking forward, that's going to be an expectation for that. So, And then F3 was a little bit of the same. Definitely couldn't get the sled to go around the corner fast. Couldn't turn. I mean, we were throwing everything we knew at it, but I think we'll have to just, I think we do focus a little bit more on F3 that weekend for sure. But I think, to do well in that class, it needs a little bit more of a focus on, whether it's testing or just a little bit more track time for sure to get a little bit more reins on what's going on with that sled. But it's kind of difficult now. We're switching back to champ, and I think, being the main focus for the rest of the season, I think that takes priority, especially with like hot laps in the morning. I mean, I do get on both sleds in the morning, but priority is champ for sure. So that F3 does get kicked to the side a little bit. But I have this past 2 days, I've been working on the F3 and the champ as both equally. So hopefully, we'll get some things figured out. We're trying some new stuff with it to try and get the sled to go around faster. That's what we needed to do. So I think the sled's plenty fast. I just need to get it to work for me. Get it a little bit more custom for whether it's for my driving style or for just in general, just to turn better. So I think definitely not a good weekend on the F3 for sure. And it's not like we were doing pretty well. I think in Beauchesser, we weren't doing that well on it either. So I mean, that was a little bit expected to. It's not like I had great expectations going into the weekend. I thought we would have done a little bit better, but I think
it's also a little difficult now too. Like, I mean, like most of these races, like Eganville, Valcourt, how many F3s are there going to be? Like 4 or 5?
Yeah, there's not going to be many at all. I mean, I think probably 5, maybe you'll see maybe 6. I don't know, maybe a couple more. Definitely not the 26 that are that were at Eagle River. I mean, more than half those people are racing enduro, right? And
most of the sleds will just sit all year until Eagle River then.
Yeah, well, I think they do race their F3s at the Sioux maybe before.
Oh,
they do have an F3 class there, so they end up racing, but it is a little bit strange to be like racing the World Championship in F3 and then race like the rest of the season for Pro Champ, and that premier class being just as many numbers. So it's a little strange, but it's been going on for a couple of years now, so it's not anything new. But it is strange for the sport to have like the whole season, in my opinion, like the whole season, the premier ice oval, especially like sprint ice oval. Yeah. The premier class at every track we go to is champ, right? And then the World Championship race is not champ; it's F3. So it is strange.
I guess it's a little confusing too, because like you said, like it's sprint ice oval. And my camera is froze.
No, I can see you. You're good.
Okay.
You're moving.
I wasn't moving for a little bit, so this is gonna look really weird.
It might. I just think it might get better, but
okay,
we'll see.
We'll see. So it's a little weird that it's sprint ice oval for like all of these races. Then you go there, and I wouldn't define it as a sprint ice oval race just because there's so many different drivers.
Well, it is a sprint. It's still the same amount of laps.
But a lot of them are enduro, right?
Well, but the event itself is definitely still a sprint type of race, right? It's 25 laps. It is a sprint, or the heats are 7 or 10 or whatever. I
guess it could.
You're just saying that a lot more of the competitors come from an enduro type of background.
Yeah.
Which that is true.
It's 25 laps straight through, right? So I mean, it's been like that for a while, but then at the same time, it's like, at what point is it shifting more towards an enduro based race? That's my question.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think they're going to make the race any longer. I think that's in the plans there, but it's just more. I mean, a lot of the enduro teams do it because they are more familiar with the sleds. It is a stock sled that they are familiar with enduro. So I think for them to get another sled to build for F3, and they are racing 2 events at at Eagle River, that weekend. They're doing the World Championship, and then they're doing the Enduro World Championship right after. So it makes sense for them to go there and do both classes, and some of them do pretty good in the class. So
Yeah.
makes sense. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't see. I guess what you're saying is a lot of more of the champ teams are not really getting into the F3 thing.
Well, I mean,
some of them maybe, but
why would they?
I mean, it's
For one
to each
race?
their own. It's whatever you feel more comfortable racing, I guess. I mean, some guys are definitely racing F3, but some guys are just sticking with champ and doing that. So I think it is kind of a little bit of a pick and choose. I mean, some people do both, but some people are also just sticking to one side, and because that's what they're more familiar with. So it is. I don't know. I don't think it's any one is better right now, but it does say something to have, all these tracks that we're going to. They are deciding what their premier class is, and out of the I don't know what is it 7 tracks we go to, 6 of them are choosing for Pro Champ to be their premier class. So, I mean that's saying something right there.
Yeah, for sure. Well, enough of Eagle River. We'll put that one in the past.
Yeah.
Sure. Let's jump into Wausau Sprint World Cup, formerly known as the 525, which Gunnar has grown to like just because of the fact that he's done well there in the past as well, right? What, 4 or 5 times?
I
think it's 4.
I think it's 5 on Sunday. I mean, I've probably had more than 5. I like final wins there.
Okay.
But I think we've won there 5 times on Sunday.
Okay.
And that's usually the more prestigious day at any of the track we go to, but especially for Wausau, and especially this year, that's the Sprint World Cup race. So it is kind of cool to have both days mean a lot. I mean, Saturday with points and Sunday with the Sprint World Cup with the payout. It's gonna be, I guess, it's gonna be a pretty big payout from what I hear. Yeah. I don't know any specific numbers.
They said $25,000.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's true. That's just what I've heard, but I don't like to speculate on stuff I don't.
They put it on the internet.
Oh, if they put it on the internet, then
everything on the internet's true.
If they put it on the internet, then that must be true. But if it's just rumors from what people are saying, I don't like to.
No, they put it on the internet today.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, I mean that's. It's going to be a big event. I think last year there was quite a few champ guys that showed up, especially from from pretty far away. So hopefully a big number this weekend.
Yeah.
I know the weather is going to be pretty warm, but
slushy.
We'll see. I don't think it's going to be too warm. I mean, we've raced in 30 degrees before, so I think it's going to be a high of 36 or 38.
Yeah, and I don't think it's supposed to be sunny, so that'll help a lot.
Yeah, I mean that'll definitely help with the ice. We'll see. I'll see how long. I know last year we ran into some ice conditions with some dirt showing. That kind of played a little bit of a factor in the final there. We'll see if that happens again this year. I know last year we did horrible on Saturday. I think we were 7th or 8th, or I don't even remember. I remember we just couldn't. I remember the sled was just couldn't get it to turn that well. And then on Sunday, things really turned around, and I think it helped us that they pushed the track back in on Sunday and just let the dirt be exposed, because I think some people just made the decision to go run down low in the dirt and kind of screwed up their turning, with their carbides or with that whatever, and then I ended up just kind of running the same line that we were during the whole day, but it just seemed like it was a lot higher because they ended up pushing the cones back in on Sunday. So we'll see. It kind of like every weekend the tracks change constantly throughout the day and throughout the weekend. So hopefully, like I said, hopefully good things happen for us this weekend. We'll see. I just like going to Wausau because it's a lot of families there. Your family is there. Yep. And it's kind of a close race for some more of our team members to show up.
Q-Tip lives in Wausau.
Yes, Q-Tip is from, I think he's technically from Weston, but
he grew up
the greater Wausau area.
He grew up in Wausau.
Yeah.
He lives in Rothschild, I think,
Okay.
or Weston. I don't know which one it is. I think it's Rothschild.
Yeah. Well, that's still kind of
Yeah.
weird. Why, like, you say you're from Wausau, but you live in
Because
Texas
there's
Weston.
no other, like, I don't know, big areas. It's just like the village. It's like a little village. It's like saying we were in Burlington, but we're technically in Hampshire.
Technically, I say I'm from Hampshire because that's what my address says.
Yeah, but our fire department's Burlington.
I don't care about my fire department.
Our school district is Lily Lake.
Burlington's the closest town, but Hampshire is the address. So.
Yeah, but Hampshire is you have to go through Burlington to get to Hampshire.
I understand that also, but I mean, yeah,
it's the same concept. Same concept.
That's like, I mean, I guess if I was like, only reason, like, if I say I'm from Chicago, it's the only time I say I'm from Chicago is if I'm like talking to someone on vacation in like Hawaii or something. I'm not gonna say like I'm from Hampshire. I guess I could, but it just gives them a better idea that like I'm from Chicago or Chicago suburbs, right?
Yeah.
But,
yeah. Or like when everyone's like West Chicago is just part of Chicago. It's just the west part.
That was always
the
weirdest thing. Yeah, people were like thought I was literally from like
the west side of Chicago.
West Chicago, when West Chicago was really not that close to.
It's still
downtown.
An hour away from downtown.
Yeah,
it's just a suburb.
It's a town further west of Chicago, but people still thought I was from like this city,
the western portion of
like this city. Yeah, which,
yeah.
Even in like high school, people like when we like played sports. People like if we like went to like a visiting school and they thought like, man, you guys are from Chicago? Wow, that's freaking crazy. And we're like, no, we're not. We're from like farther west, like in the almost the cornfields.
We're literally in St. Charles.
Yeah, St. Charles, the cornfields.
Yeah. So circling back, we'll have. I don't even know. I did the RSVP thing with all the team members, and I think both your sisters are coming. With their families and their kids. We have Jason and Catherine and those two, Jonathan and Aubrey, they're coming. Q-Tip, we have Andy, we have your friend Nick. A lot of my friends are going to be there. It's just going to be a full weekend. So
yeah, it'll be fun. It always is fun. It's just a nice place. It's a good track for like that, for like being accommodating for people.
Yeah, there's
like
a lot of hotels.
Close.
There's a lot of restaurants.
You don't have to walk very far to watch the races. Like you don't have to walk like a quarter mile over to the track from the trailer.
Yeah, I like that aspect too. Pits are nice right there.
Yeah, everything about like the facility itself is nice. I did hear a rumor they were changing the track to make it a little bit more racy. I don't know what that means. They've been saying that. I think they've been saying that like every year I've been going there, and it really hasn't changed much. Unless they like actually move some dirt, in my opinion, that's really the only way to get that track to be more racy is to put more bank in the corners.
Yeah,
like, there is bank, but it's not a progressive bank. I think if you had like a progressive bank, so the higher you go, the more bank it gets. That's really the only way to get like that second higher line to come in.
Yeah.
Like consistently, because like right now it's always been the one lane. Like 5 laps in, everyone's riding those corners, especially at Wausau, are like really like perfectly round. So there's not like much room for like error or like to cut low or anything. So that it just the snow berm starts to pile up really quick. So like that top line just never really comes into play. And it's always further away around, and you can't carry as much more speed around there. So I mean, you can pass like early in the race up higher, but usually towards the later aspects of a race, it just doesn't come into play. So I don't know. I don't think I don't think they moved any dirt there. So I think it's probably gonna be the same track. And they do like to push the cones in on the front and back stretch, which I was never a fan of because it just kind of like it really
encourages the line to stay low, and then the dirt will show more.
Yeah, like it really it digs in coming out of 4, just because you have to cut down so low coming out of 4. And that's where we first saw the dirt last year was coming out of 4. And like that rut was like deep just because that was the only spot to come out. Yeah. Everyone was coming out, follow the leader coming out. And then there was a deep, deep rut coming out of 4 last year. So if they do push like the hay bales back out, it kind of gives someone a little bit more swing coming out and swing coming in. And it just spreads out the machines. And ice might last a little bit longer. I mean, those first couple years that we raced there, like you could like literally just like do a really wide circle. That's like you're almost always kind of just like turning, and the laps were like really, really fast. And now you kind of have to like pinch it off and like kind of have to let off a little bit. Coming like if you're like trying to get around someone on the outside, you have to like be conscious that there's hay bales there now. Before you didn't have to, like you could just, you knew there was room there. So now you have to kind of have to cut it off a little bit. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. It's always an interesting track there. I mean, it's not like my favorite track for racing, but I do like going there for like the facility part of it. So
yeah, and they always try to make sure that they have enough ice. I mean, I would say last year, like there was a little bit, it wasn't terrible really. If you drove that lower line, then you're gonna have an issue. But I don't know how you wouldn't have seen that, right? Like,
yeah,
while lining up and going by it, you obviously should have looked at the track a little more. If you were running into dirt. So,
I think people just didn't care. Like they already thought it was faster, but it was also bumpy too. Like it was rough down there too.
Yeah,
it was rough and dirt.
Yeah, and I think like in years past, there's never really been that issue, right? So I'm hoping that I know they were making ice day and night. I saw all over Facebook. So hoping they made a good amount, even though, Mother Nature does not love ice oval racing this year, which is unfortunate. But yeah.
Yeah, like I said, it should be. I think they said they have like 14 inches.
Which is good.
Which I think was what they had last year.
No, they said they only have 10.
Well.
In any case, either way.
In any case, they have ice. And
it'll be really nice and warm out for spectators and fans, and I don't know, kids.
It'll be a good spectator weekend, yes, for sure.
So if you're not going, shame on you.
I would encourage everyone to come out, especially like this year. I think they need a good showing for spectators.
And I think they're going to have like I think 365 is going to be there, like setting up shop. And they're going to have like clothes for sale and stuff. I've always said that they need a band to come in and play, but.
Yeah. People love
music
and drinking. So if you,
especially in Wisconsin,
literally, if you just add those two things at any event, I think you could like have a lot of people show up.
Yeah.
Especially if like the beer or liquor's cheap. I think, I mean, especially in Wisconsin, like anything with just beer, liquor, I think gets people to show up.
And I really don't think
I always thought though,
expensive.
If I was putting on an event, like say I was doing Wausau, like this, I don't know how much it would cost to have like someone that's like popular right now. I don't know, name someone that's like semi-popular, but that would be like still like affordable to have them show up.
I don't know where you're going with this.
Just like have like, I don't know, like back a couple years ago, right?
Like make an appearance.
Yeah, like make an appearance. Like a couple years ago, like Larry and Tyser was huge, right? Just like what would it cost to have someone like that show up and like make an appearance and like put that in your promos, put that like in your advertising, like Larry and Tyser's gonna be there. And like remember that day at Heydays when Larry and Tyser was just like had a huge line of people just like wanting to meet him.
Yeah.
Like that's like what
good old influence.
Yeah, like that's like influencers is what really brings out the younger crowd these days, and like you kind of have to cater towards that also, I mean,
I've always said this. With Wausau, they always do the Midwest Snowcross series after Wausau is done. Mm-hmm. Or after the 525 race, the ice oval race is done. They do it in February sometime. Why don't they look into making, one of those parking lots? I know obviously there's not very much parking there to begin with. That could be figured out. People could park elsewhere and then have like a trolley go back and forth. And make it more of a 2-event Midwest Snowcross ice oval combined event. That would bring a lot of people in. It would bring in both crowds of individuals. And I think that would be beneficial as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think it could be something to be looked into for sure. I don't know with like the feasibility of that with like the amount of people or like the parking and I don't know, like with like their ability to like have an event, like I know like they're only limited to so many events there, right? So how does that consider like one event, or is that
It's
considered
still considered
two?
one because
I
it's
don't
still
know.
one weekend. I
Yeah,
think it would still be considered one. I just think it would be just an awesome idea.
it takes a lot of planning too, like two different series to join together like that. I mean, they have to obviously be on board, but I think it's something to look into. But the cooperation part between like series is always difficult. But since like that snowcross series already races there, I think that's probably more feasible than
for sure.
than getting like a new series to like come to a new track. You know, they're already familiar with that track. I don't know where they race. Do they race in the track, or do they no, there's a lake there obviously, so they don't race.
No, I think they race like on the side of it,
Yeah,
like
so
behind, like on the 3 and 4.
yeah, they could do it. I mean, that's definitely possible. I don't know. It would take a lot of planning, and it would take the people in charge to want to do that. You know, I mean, it's a good idea, but I mean, I don't know if that's like in their realm of what they want to do.
Or
they
maybe,
want
I mean,
do they find any value in that? I
maybe
see
they're
it.
seeing it as 2 separate weekends. They can make more money, but at the same time,
Well, like I said,
think combining the 2 weekends would bring in a lot of people because you can watch multiple different facets of snowmobile racing, right?
yeah, from like an outside perspective, just spectator wise, I think it makes a lot of sense.
That's what the Manawa Snowdio is, right? They have radar runs. They have so many things going on there. I don't even know. I can't even list them all off. We've never been there, obviously, because last year was canceled because of weather. Hopefully this year, fingers crossed. It's been cold, so hopefully the ice is freezing. But we'll see. We'll find out.
What's that one event we went to in Springstead? Remember? It wasn't.
Oh, Brat Fest.
Brat Fest. So that was kind of like a small Manawa event, but like more. A lot of people showed up.
It was just radar runs.
Well, it was radar runs in like a ice course. Like I think they had like a mini ice enduro, like a very small course.
What?
Yeah, it was going on too.
I wasn't paying attention.
I don't know. It was like for 4-wheelers, but also snowmobiles. Yeah, but it was mostly just radar. Like people showed up with their own sleds and did radars. But they had like
a lot of people just showed up riding. Like they just showed up on their sleds, which is like always a benefit.
Yeah.
If the trails are open, there was so many people that just showed up there because it was like a nice time to like warm up by the fire, get a drink, socialize, see what's going on. It's a good pit stop, right?
Yeah.
And that's always really nice. I mean, Eganville, they're right on the snowmobile trail, and a lot of sleds do show up on that hill every year.
Yeah.
It's packed with snowmobilers. So
yeah, I think each place has to work with their advantages. I mean, like I don't know, it's hard for Wausau because I know Snowmobile Trail does go right through there, but not many people trail ride in Wausau like that. It's just,
it depends on the snow. Like
but not like in the Northwoods.
The trails aren't open, right? So it doesn't
like people don't trail ride in Wausau like they do like up there, like where Springstead event is. Like that is in like the
locked
like right in the heart of trail riding.
Yeah.
So
anyways, circling back to the rest of the season, we get back from Wausau on Sunday night. Hopefully with good outcomes, good news. And then I don't even know, when are we leaving for Eganville? Please tell me it's not.
I don't know yet, but probably like the Thursday before.
Okay, cool.
I don't know yet.
Yeah, so probably leave Thursday or Friday. I don't know. Who knows? Usually it's up in the air. I usually find out like 8 hours before we're leaving.
I'll plan a little bit sooner than that. But.
So I'm only saying this because they were talking in the race shop tonight, and I came out and they're like, okay, we'll be here at 8 a.m. tomorrow. I'm like, what? I thought we were leaving on Friday. No, we're leaving tomorrow at 8 a.m. I'm like, Gunner's like, oh, not me.
They're leaving.
They're leaving with the trailer at 8 a.m. tomorrow. So they're coming to the house.
I had to stick here and do some work stuff.
So the trailer had to get packed up tonight. I just was like, I was under the impression that the trailer was getting packed tomorrow. So it was just like,
I didn't know. I thought they were leaving like tomorrow night, but
I don't know. I was just so confused with everything going on. I was like, what in the world? But it's okay. I got the trailer washed. That was my goal for the week, is to wash the trailer inside and out. So the floor was disgusting.
This rest of the season.
But yes, so
Eganville.
Circling back, Eganville.
So we have Eganville, Belcourt, Manawa, Eagle River, Beaujeu. And
What race are you most excited for?
Excited for?
Yeah.
I'm excited for Valcourt for a couple of reasons. I think I want to do well there. I want to win there again. And I do like going there. It's so far away that's like the worst part about it is that it's far away, but everything else about it I really like.
That's also a bucket list race for a lot of people.
Yeah, I think but like being there like for a whole week before, because we will, at least last year and this year, we'll go there like the Monday before or the Monday right after Eganville and like spend the whole week there. So that's always fun, just like being with everyone. Like my guys, like last year, Jason came and he was Jason, your dad, and Tim, you, and me and my dad, right? That was the whole group. So that was a fun group last year. Just kind of hanging out at our Airbnb. This year I got a different Airbnb. It's a pretty nice place, so we should have fun there. Last year we had like a place with a hot tub. That was nice.
Yeah, that was pretty nice.
And like a whole like game room with like a ping pong table and like a pool table. Well, like it was like in someone's garage. They like transformed his garage into like a game room.
Yeah.
It wasn't like
a bar.
It wasn't like it didn't have like arcade games, but it had like I think it had ping pong or something. But it also had a hot tub behind it.
Yeah, that was kind of cool. The worst part about that like whole thing is like Eganville used to be after Valcourt. Right, so it used to be the weekend after. So that was always nice because the first time that we did this like 2 or 3 years ago, we went to Valcourt, and then you guys drove to Eganville. No, yeah, I was with you. I was definitely there. We drove to Eganville, and then had Eganville the next week.
And my dad.
So it was already like we're already like what 6, 7, 8 hours closer to home. But now leaving Valcourt's the worst because it's like the longest part of the trip, right? It's leaving Valcourt, going back to Illinois is the longest part because Eganville's in between home and Valcourt. So I wish it was the other way around, just because of that, because I'm being selfish.
Would you rather spend a week in Valcourt or a week in Eganville? Because the week in Eganville was pretty boring.
Was terrible.
So
Absolutely.
I kind of like it this way because at least we're by like Valcourt, the track, and like Sherbrooke, Montreal. Yeah. That was like that one year.
Except the fact that every single time I have an experience, I go out there, I swear I experience one French Canadian who is not enthused with Americans being there.
Oh yeah, I mean
they're always crabby with me. I don't know why.
Common. I don't know why. Yeah.
My Midwest friendly hospitality.
It seems like they don't. They also like think that they don't know English, but I gotta believe they do.
No, they do. They start speaking it, then like they won't.
I think some of them might not.
Like, it's kind of crazy once you get across the border from Ontario to Quebec. It's like 20 miles down the road, and then all of a sudden they just start speaking French. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
20 miles.
Yeah, it is a very fast.
It's like
switch.
Straight. Like no.
They take their borders very literal. I think there.
Yeah.
With like who they are, like as a culture, like Quebec is like French Canadian, I think, and then like once you get into Ontario, like you're like, well, we're not from Quebec, we're different, even though they're only a couple miles away.
And then you go to Manitoba, and they're like, oh, we don't want anything to do with Quebec. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Because their provinces are so big, like our states are like smaller, right? So like it is kind of like more familiar with like.
I mean, maybe
Northern Illinois and like southern Wisconsin, like that's kind of the same area, it's like very similar.
No,
I think so.
Anyone from
Wisconsin? Only thing that's different is like the sports teams.
The tolls.
You guys get butthurt about like sports teams and stuff.
The Bears haven't made it to playoffs in how long?
You just get so like proud.
Last year they lost
so
10,
proud of
10
your sports
games
teams.
straight, Gunnar. I don't know why you're talking about sports right now.
Because that's like literally the only difference between Northern Illinois and like southern Wisconsin.
No, there's a lot of differences. Tolls, taxes.
I'm talking about like, never mind.
Lights on the highway.
Yeah, there are those differences that like, yeah, you are in a different state. It is nice having lights on the highway.
Yeah.
At least admit that.
Yeah, it's not terrible on the interstate. Okay, I will admit that. But if I have to pay an arm and a leg just to drive on the freaking road.
It's worth it.
No, it's not.
I think so.
No.
In my opinion, it is. All right. Well,
okay. Circling. Okay, so what track are you said Valcourt you're most excited for? Oh yeah, snowcross, the Amsoil snowcross pro classes.
Oh
Just
yeah,
the pro
I forgot
classes
about that.
are gonna be there, which is awesome. It's good to have them in
That'd
full
be
effect.
cool.
They normally, I think all the Skidoo teams normally have to race that race or like are obligated to race either that one or a different one. I don't know how it all works with their contracts.
They're obviously now have to go.
But obviously, thank you. But I'm saying, like before, like the Skidoo
I heard that
teams. Yeah. That's why all the big Skidoo teams were there, right? So now there's going to be, you have a lot of the Arctic Cat guys and all them. I'll be up there from the Amsoil series, which they always had the Canadian series running there, but it's good. It's good. It's going to be awesome to see, and it's going to be great to see the turnout. I mean, they bring in so many people to begin with that it's just going to bring in so much more to that community for sure. And the atmosphere is going to be amazing. They're going to have hopefully bands again, do the whole radar runs. They have like inflatable bouncy houses.
Yeah, I wonder
so
how
much
much
going
like
on.
I wonder how like they're gonna balance the oval racing with the snowcross, because like usually snowcross has like they're in charge of their own show, right? They have total control over everything they do, like with their broadcasts and like their schedule.
Making the track.
Well, yeah,
That's
making the
another
track,
thing.
but I like if you watch a snowcross race online or on
But it's
stream,
only the pro classes, so it's going to be a little different.
oh, so it's only pro. It's not. It's. I thought it was a total. I
It's
thought it was
just-
the full like a national event. Yeah, it is.
No, it's just the pro classes though.
So
So
the pro women are not going to be there.
no, that's a pro class because it's pro women.
Okay, what about the junior classes?
I don't.
The nationals.
No, not the junior classes.
I was under the impression that it's the same
Google
as.
it. Google it. You have your phone right in front of you. Google it.
All right.
It's pro light, pro women's, pro sport, and I think that's it.
I was under the
Pro
impression that it was like the same as the snowcross like event like in wherever Canterbury, but just also it's in Valcourt. Like they have.
No, it's not.
Why
It's just the
wouldn't it
pro
be?
classes. Look
Why
at
would
the
it be
schedule.
different?
Look at the schedule.
I'm trying to. Right
Because
now.
they don't want to make like the 5-year-old kids go up there on their little 120s.
Well, you don't have to go, but they would still offer it.
But it's still a points race, so like that's
It
like
says-
kind of like
it says the series has north of the border for the first time in years. So I gotta believe like the same events or same classes that are offered.
no, it's not. It literally says it on there. Go up. He's gonna get proven wrong. And he's not gonna like it. I'm just saying. Minor hold, everyone, while we
I'm trying to look it up.
just go to the Amsoil snowcross.
So
Okay, it says right
doesn't
here,
say.
pro classes only.
Where does it say that?
Right here.
You have a blank screen.
I don't know why I was doing that. See, Valcourt, pro classes only. See, pro classes.
Okay, it does say on there pro class.
Okay.
All right, so that's not. So I guess they'll just somehow work it in the schedule with ovals. I guess.
Yeah,
I know the oval schedule.
Pro
is
light and pro
limited.
women. I'm pretty sure that's like maybe pro sport. I don't know about sport. I don't know how that works, but it's pro light, and pro women. So those three for sure. It says on here.
Pro light, pro women.
Yeah.
Pro. What about the older class?
That's not considered.
That's not a pro class.
No, it's. I don't know. I'd
Well,
have to look
It'll
into
be
it
interesting.
further.
It'll be cool to see, or at least watch them. I mean, most of those guys did show up there. At least
Yeah.
the Skidoo guys. But
Yeah.
it'd be cool to see some other guys we're friends with, like Nick Lorenz will be there for sure. So hang out with him.
Yeah, well,
At
he's
least see
Skidoo
him.
now, so either way, he would have been here if it was or wasn't.
Trying to think of who else we might run into.
A lot of people. The whole Levi LaValle crew. Adam and Riley.
Yeah, Adam. You'll be there. Yeah, it'll be cool. They'll get to watch me race maybe for the first time. I mean, we've seen them race like all the time. So
I think Adam's been to a few
well,
races.
I'm just saying like at the same race. So
Yeah.
it'll be cool.
It'll be good. It'll be
Walking
awesome.
around the pits and seeing those guys there.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that. Yeah. So that's my answer to your question. That's what I'm most excited for.
Okay.
And then
I have the schedule right here if you're really, really worried about it. But it's in French, so I can't translate. Not good.
we should learn when we get better at this to like learn. I know it's possible to like put these things up on the screen. So like the people that are watching this,
Like
can
insert
see.
here.
Yeah, like I know it's possible. So this is like what I'm not too like accustomed to yet or good at is like adding things to the screen. But next I'll get better at it, and then hopefully like this
So
podcast or like YouTube. I think I'm gonna put this on
Yes,
YouTube
please.
because like I know YouTube is like more where everyone just gets their
Excuse me.
like content from.
Yeah.
It's just like more familiar with everyone. So
All right.
so yeah, I don't know what else do you want to talk about
That's
as far
about
as the
it.
schedule.
That's about it. That's all I
Okay.
got.
That's all you have.
I'm done for the day.
Okay. Well,
Earlier, Ellie came over here and she like thought it was bedtime, and she came up to me and kept like bothering me. So if anyone notices me saying "go lay down,"
yeah,
because I was
she's
yelling at
laying
her.
right below
She's
us.
literally laying in between us right now on the floor.
It's okay. She's being
Oh,
she's
now
being
she's
a good
stretching.
dog.
Now she's stretching. Big
So
stretch.
yeah, I mean, I think what makes like this like podcast like entertaining is like when you like discuss something. I don't think we have anything to discuss this week, but I'll try and think of like some good discussion topics.
I'll come up with some funny questions like, Gunnar, what's your favorite barnyard animal?
Those are who really cares? Really?
No,
Like
just
like
answer.
more
Just answer it.
I don't know. A cow.
Make a cow noise.
I'm not doing that. So what sound does a cow make?
What kind?
Moo.
Of...
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't think like it was like
There's a guy on our team.
yeah.
There's a guy on our team who can literally move like a cow, like straight up. Like, it's like very realistic. So if you see Dave DeFries at any of the races, ask him to move like a cow for you, and he is going to
Not that
kill me
entertaining.
for saying that. It's so accurate though.
Mhm.
It's so accurate. It's like very, very spot on.
Well, anyways, what I was saying was I think like having like a part of this be like a discussion on a topic is something I'm gonna want to like do for the future like episodes. So
Yeah, all the drama. You wanna
yeah,
hear all
I
the
think that's like
drama.
part of it.